I've started the recording for you, Simon.
All right, cool. With that, I'll just pass it over to Kevin, and Chris, I'll jump in from time to time if needed. All yours, Kevin.
Okay.
All right, so Chris, I'll share my screen, and Simon's asked me to go through a couple of the capabilities on the Dynamics 365 system. So let me know once you can see the screen, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, great.
So it should be loading anytime now.
All right.
I don't see anything yet.
Not yet.
Oh,
Can you see that, Simon?
Yep. We're good. Chris, you got it right?
Yes, I'm live. Thank you.
All right, cool.
Okay, great. All right, so we wanted to just start with a quick tour. And what we've done is kind of package the critical components of the system, and we're going to give you kind of the quick tour. There's a lot more depth and a lot more data, and some of this is reflective of where the development of the project is at. There are, not all of the data has been brought over, and we'll focus on just the Southern California region for the time being. Just to give you the idea of where the system is at. So the first thing that we wanted to highlight are some of the dashboards that you leverage in Dynamics 365. So the first one that we have put together, we have an account dashboard, and that basically shows you things like dealer counts, and we slice those up by the level of the dealer, or up here the type of retailer. We also have a couple charts that represent fabricators. So that gets more into the subtypes over on the right-hand side, or the quantity, the purchase quantity year to date. And as you can tell, not all the data has been brought in, right? So this will fill out more as we get more of the data brought over into the system. And then down in the bottom, we have a quick chart that represents the ratings of different architects and designers. So this is meant to give you a quick visual of volumes and such in the system for accounts. Okay.
Okay, great.
And the next one we'll show you is. Go ahead. You had a question?
For you. On each of those dashboards, there's a little. Looks like there's a little button, and is that a drill down opportunity? It looks like a refresh button, and looks like or is that just a tabular or a different view?
Yeah, so you see how this will show you the records that are used to generate the chart. This will open it up in a larger view if you can't see all the different details like this guy here. And if you hover over, you can see the more specific information. So there's 75 of retailer type blank, 6 premier, and you could drill into those, and you could drill in by a certain dimension. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
So they're all live charts, right? You can use these. The other thing to keep in mind is, this is all configuration driven. So, we're not stuck with specifically exactly what you see here. We can also have things like lists of the data, and I'll show you some other data lists, but they can be put right on the dashboard. So with that, let's go over to the project dashboard. So this is going to be showing you information about opportunities in the system. Some of the information we thought might be useful is to show you the number of opportunities by the stage, and then also the estimated revenue that those projects, those opportunities consist of, and where they're at in their process for the project stage. So, those are some pretty interesting information, especially, I know that you guys have sales opportunities that span years. And that's why it's important to track the stage of the project. A couple other ways to slice it down here at the bottom is organizing those projects by the type, whether you're doing renovation, reconstruction, etc. Where are your opportunities for stone coming from? And another one is by the what's called a project use subtype, which you're probably familiar with in your current system. The number of slabs, basically. So, that gives you kind of an idea of revenue, volume, etc., and where things are at and what stage. Okay? And again, these are reflective of the data records, and I'll show you those after we get past these dashboards. We'll dive into some examples to show you all the detail that's underneath them. And things like the revenue, right? You'll notice that that's added up from the line items that are on any given project, and it adds them up according to the stage of the project here in these charts. All right, questions on that one?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So then the last one we wanted to show you from the dashboard perspective is the warranty. So these are the cases, the claims, right? So someone contacts Caesarstone for assistance, either under warranty or a question, et cetera, a problem. So this shows you some details about, how things are resolved, what the cause, the primary cause. We also have secondary cause in there, of course. And then, up at the top, you have more of a way to tell where, this is where things are at in terms of the case resolution process. And this one here is for what subjects. So the subject tree in Dynamics 365, we're using to represent the category, the area, and the issue. So this gets down to all the way down to the individual issue level. So it gives you a sense of, where warranty claims are coming in. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Could you
just to add
here
one quick. Sorry, Chris. I just wanted to mention that that in the current system, the SalesLogix, the website, the public website, and the SalesLogix system are integrated. So warranty registration forms and warranty claim forms that website users are filling out and entering are getting automatically submitted into the SalesLogix CRM now, and that's obviously going to be rechanneled to go directly into Dynamics CRM later.
Yes, and I just wanted to give everyone a heads up. My sales operations manager, Cindy Askew, has just joined us. And Cindy is responsible for warranty, so this was one of the, among other things, of course. And I wanted her to see this, so she just joined me as well.
Great.
Hello.
Hey, Cindy.
Great. Hello. All right. So what we'll do now, so these are the dashboards, and these can be your starting point. And as I said, we could have lists of records. So you might have a more specific dashboard depending on who you are as a user. The ones that I'm showing today are more high-level ones. If you're, for example, someone working in the customer service area or the warranty area, you might want the list of your open issues, etc. So again, don't think that what you see here is the only thing you can have on your dashboards.
Right.
They're really meant as an entree into the system to help you with what's important. When I log in, what's important, it gets you to the right place. So with that being said, so what we'll do now is we'll go into, we'll show you how the rest of the system operates in terms of data records and navigation, and we'll give you the quick tour there. So we'll start by looking at a particular list of accounts. So right now we're looking at the approved dealers, and again, we only have some of the data migrated in to give you a representative of the information. So you can see here that this is a view for approved dealers, and if we wanted to, we could either switch to a different view, and we have some dealers for Southern California fabricators, A&Ds. You can see all, right? One of the things Simon wanted me to give you a quick tour of is we could create our own view of data, and this is for anything else in the system. We could start from our Southern California dealers, and we could add some criteria. Let's say where the retailer type is elite. And I think, as you see on the list here, we only have one. But just to show you that, we can create these views specifically. I could get that list. Of course, any of these lists I can export to Excel. I can, run an Excel template, which is kind of a next generation of a mail merge. I can also save these views as a personal view. And that way, as for me as a user, I have this in the system anytime I'd like to use that. So that's just important to note that, while the Dynamics 365 system, the way that we put it together is almost entirely configuration driven. The end users also have a large capability to configure what they see in the system. For example, I've pinned the SCA dealers as my selected default view. I can save these personal views. Here's my personal view for the elite dealers, etc. So there are a lot of things that as a user, you can tailor to the way that you want to experience this software. So with that, let's dive into a level of detail. Let's go to this particular account. And the view shows you a lot of important information, and we can figure what's in there. But when you go into the account record, you see the information that's pertinent and all the glorious details that are in there in the system. So in this particular case, Kellywood Floors, this particular account is a dealer who is approved in Southern California. And we can see a couple things. So if we look at the related records, that shows things like this activity stream. This shows you all the things that have been going on, tracked within the system related to this dealer. And it also shows you things like the contacts, right? So you have the primary contact. You might have a list of additional contacts that you have, in this case, at that dealer. So all the data that you're seeing in here is interrelated, and it lets you navigate and, of course, search on those relationships. Then, there are other things that you'll see in here. So the more information over here on the dealer information is going to be appropriate for you. So you can see that they're a gold level dealer, elite, and they have signed a partner agreement. So again, we can, we're working through all the organization of this information on the screen, but it has all the stuff that you need, and it's intended to be a really easy to navigate interface. And you can expand and look for more information as you desire it. So one thing, and we can configure that layout any way that we really want to. So you're seeing the the result of the initial stage of the project here.
Okay,
So any questions?
Cindy has a question.
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't catch your name.
Kevin, I'm sorry.
Kevin.
Yes, Kevin.
Kevin,
Sorry.
thank you. Now, with the activities that you showed, will that pull what's happening in warranty? So if somebody opens a claim, that the account rep or whomever would be working an account would know?
Yes. So let me answer your question with two components. So one is that there is what we call in Dynamics 365 a roll-up, where you will see related records that are quote-unquote underneath. In other words, if the account is it covers for a person or a case, if the account is listed for them, then those activities for the case would roll up to the account. That's one aspect. The other aspect is the way that we choose to control, let's call it data visibility. So there are a couple ways, right? There's kind of a security way and filtering on the views. So different users of different roles will see certain things. So assuming it's appropriate, yes, they would see those activities on the list rolled up. Okay, good question.
Account status approved.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
There,
Account status approved, yeah.
does that have to do with their certification, or is that a separate?
Simon, I'll let you take that one.
Yeah, sure. If you can just expand that account status list, Kevin. Yeah, there you go. So it's basically lead, approved, and rejected. So approved means we're doing business currently with this account. Lead means we are not currently, but there's a potential in the future. And rejected means we had done business at some point with this account, but we're not anymore. So when it's a fabricator account that we're looking at, then the more suitable question would be, is this a certified fabricator or not? That information will be available at a different part of the screen, which we will get to when we pull up a fabricator account a little bit later. But for a dealer account, it would be approved, lead, and rejected.
Okay.
Okay, great.
All right. So one thing that Simon wanted me to show you is that on the main website, when you go in and you click on where to buy, that actually, and let's put a zip code in, for example. So that's actually going to be getting its data from the database of the Dynamics 365 system, so that when you look that up, you'll see the records here, and this is information that's coming from the same database, right? So that's an important aspect of integration that we wanted to just highlight that that's part of the project. Okay. So if we go back, so let's take another look. So that was a dealership. So let's go back and look for a fabricator in this case. So we'll take one of these ones here. Let's take Marble City. We'll take a look at this fabricator. Now, you still have related records, right? You'll have contacts, and you'll see that there are a few more contacts here at Marble City that we're aware of. You have the activity stream of, phone calls, calendar appointments, emails, etc., tasks that are associated to that and child records. And when we go down into the more information section, there's quite a bit of other information here for specific to fabricators, most notably their sales goals, etc., and a couple, key data fields over here as well. So that's kind of the details for a fabricator. Now, one thing that I think is critical to know is we also have data being fed in on the nightly basis for fabricators from the Oracle system. So as you can see here, and again, this is representative at this point. It's been brought in, so it's not necessarily fully up to date. But once the system is live, the integration will be driving this on a regular basis, and you'll be able to see their levels of items purchased last year and for the current year. So that actually last year is probably accurate for these folks, but current year would be a little out of date right now. You also have the site use identifiers. So again, that's being fed from the Oracle system, brought in for people's information so that you can tell what they've gone through. Okay.
Great.
And one of the things that I wanted to just kind of mention real quick again is what we're seeing on the screen right here is dependent on the initial layout that came with the package, sort of out of the box. And when we moved the data over from SalesLogix, we just took the placements, the current placements of those fields, basically literally. So one of the things that we can spend some time on during the user acceptance testing and possibly some during the feedback phase is to rearrange some of these data, how and exactly where we want certain things placed at what parts of the screen. So we would have full freedom to be able to just look at all the data and to decide what to put where.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that'll be important. I think for now, off the shelf is fine for validation of the data transfer and that type of stuff. I think that's good.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to be selective on where we want to customize it because we're not going to be able to customize everything, especially in the short term. So we'll try to be selective on where we want to make those custom changes.
Okay. So a couple other. So next, I want to show you an A&D account. I'm going to show you a different way instead of going through the lists. There are a couple things you can do. So I'm going to look for Design Arc as an organization. Now it actually brings up, as you can see, it's a multi-entity search, right? So you can see the accounts, you can see contacts associated to it, opportunities for it, for any projects or possible opportunities coming along. So, the search is really easy to get to that account. The other thing we can do is look at our recently viewed items. It's actually bubbled pretty far down my recently viewed list. Sorry about that. But I could just pick it from my list if I've worked on it recently. So a couple nice things about that are, different from other systems you're probably used to. So as you use, especially on the sales side, you're working specific accounts more often, you're going to see them more easily on your recently viewed items. So that's, it's just an important way to be able to navigate. So with the A&D accounts, you'll see a couple things here. You'll see, again, their related records with their activity list and their contacts, etc. But you'll also, for A&Ds, you'll see the different projects that we're involved with. And you'll notice that we actually have 22 of them there. We've just, we're just showing a couple at a time here. So let's use this as a segue to go into the opportunities, aka projects. So we'll look at this particular one that's in the CS specified stage. It's construction, greater than 20 slabs. Looks like it has around almost 47,000 in revenue. So when we look at the details of this opportunity, you'll notice here that it has all the details that you need to track in terms of the address where the project is occurring, the dates for the project, if when it was last contacted, who referred, etc. Right, all the gore details are there. Another thing that we wanted to highlight is we're actually leveraging the price list and pricing engine within Dynamics 365, so that you'll see here that you have a certain specific product and quantity, and then you have if there was a discount on there, you'd see a discount, and it extends that out, and it also it would give you overall discounting and the ability to do freight and tax. And that adds up to your total amount, right? Your estimated revenue. So, you think of this as this is really modeling the revenue that's going to be associated with this project. And as the project goes through its life cycle, it becomes the actuals that should be purchased from, for the project. So as the project goes on through time, you'll be realizing that. But this gives you the ability to estimate the revenue out. Okay. So, any questions?
No, not here.
All right.
Have you reviewed workflows already, or are you going to do that later?
The question was workflows.
Sorry, not sure. I understand the question. Can you elaborate on what you mean by workflow?
Sure.
So, for example, if somebody, and this is a commercial account, let's say a fabricator was buying something and they got a special one-time discount, and the RSM approved that the RSC could submit it through some type of workflow through the account, and it goes through the approval and tracking here.
Instead of through email, the approval process would be managed through the CRM?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Does that make sense, guys? Her question now?
Not to me, I'm sorry.
Okay, so basically a quoting process through the CRM, so that the required, whatever the signature of authority would entail for a certain discount to be approved, it would be managed through the CRM versus me sending an email to the VP of Finance or anyone sending an email to me for approval offline. It would all be tracked in-house in the CRM, is the question.
Well, it definitely can be a CRM function. I've seen situations where organizations manage the approval channel and follow-up process through a CRM system. But since we're only talking about dealing with the fabricator type accounts, I would actually think it would be more suitable to be handled by the Oracle system. Do you know if Oracle has any similar features built in?
Good question. Maybe we should take that offline instead of bog us down in that here. But that's a question Cindy is asking.
If you like, I could send an email to Eleron, see if that can get kick-started and follow up from there.
You can feel free to ask the question. We have serious questions about our current version of Oracle right now.
Okay.
As you probably are intimately aware, Simon. So let's just move on, and we'll come back. Don't forget that, because I think that's important, but let's come back to it.
And
All
Simon,
right,
maybe
cool.
just from the Dynamics 365 platform perspective, it has a very strong workflow engine built within it. So a lot of times it depends on the kind of the application, right? If the data and the users are all within the Dynamics 365 system, then that might be the right place. And Simon, you're right to consider what's the ecosystem of the different systems and different users involved. But if it is kind of in the realm of the Dynamics 365 area, there's a lot of great workflow capabilities for automating things
Yeah.
that happen in the system, asking for people
Yeah, that's
to operate on tasks, etc. So.
yeah, that's great to know. The fabricators and their approved discount rates would be dependent on their sales volume,
Right.
if I understand the process correctly. So that's all information natively stored and managed within Oracle.
Yes.
Oracle being the financial system. So I believe everything that has to do with the fabricators and their approved budgeted discount rates and actual discount rates and so on, I think would be more appropriate to be managed within Oracle. But we can
That makes
circle
sense.
back and address that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to clarify, I think we're talking more about exception discounting than standard discounting.
Yes, and like warranty approvals, goodwill, budget approvals.
Okay. Okay, so maybe we can kind of dig a little bit deeper into this topic after this session. Kevin mentioned the workflow the feature that's built in available within the CRM. We can definitely take a look into that, see if we can make good use out of it.
Okay.
Yeah. The one thing that interests us the most about that is the mobile nature of this platform,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't believe we have that luxury with Oracle today.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think we also have very few people in our company that know how to use it. And maybe that's by design, but anyway, we'll stop picking on Oracle now.
Right. Okay, so the next. Sorry, go ahead.
We'll keep that on the back burner, maybe for a future call.
Yeah.
That makes sense. All right. So the next thing we wanted to show is we'll go over into the cases area, and this is where you would, you track and handle warranty claims, etc. So we'll just give you an example, right? This is the kind of consolidated view of all the cases that we've brought over in the partial data migration. You can see some of these are actually closed out, some of them are in process. We, of course, have put together views for, just the open or just the closed, and, individuals would probably use their My Cases view. You could have different views based on what you're trying to do within the system, of course. So if we take a look at these, and one of the ones that I wanted to do, actually, it's a case I've been working on more recently. I'm going to go to the K French one. So if you look at any particular case, what you're going to see is it has all the information that you would have expected to see out of your current process, of course. And here's, for example, the categorization where it gives you this hierarchy where you can do area/category/issue, right? You can get down to chip, and that's under warranty material defect. So this can be, expanded out to cover more scenarios as it makes sense for the type of cases that you're managing. And, this one came in from the web, etc. So, really, it's meant to track the raw information, to be a place to keep your notes and to keep the activity stream and the communication stream. You're probably communicating with an inspector, maybe the fabricator or installer, maybe the dealership as well, and the customer. So, it's really meant to hold all of that and then let you process it and close it out when you're finished with it, right? So let's see. Okay, so the details area, this just gives you, we put a couple fields in here and you can see some of the specifics. So you can get more information here in the description. You can put your most recent visit notes in, your internal comments. right? These are so really what we've done is we've fit it to the existing information that we've migrated over. And as Simon said earlier, with the opportunities and the accounts, right, we would organize this the way that makes the most sense for usability when we're in the next stage of the project. Okay. So let's see. So Simon, did I miss anything before we jump over to the mobile? I mean,
I don't
that's
think
I know
so.
it's kind of high level, but
Let's if Chris and Cindy don't have any questions, let's jump over to mobile.
Yeah, that looks good to me. I guess the one question I do have that is maybe better for the end is what's the executive manager rep level look like? I guess since we're going to want to have different levels of viewing. Will we be able to customize if the president and VP of sales looking at it one way, and then regional manager might want to look at it a different way, and then obviously go down to the rep level having their specific view. Is that
yes,
be created? Okay.
absolutely. So what I've shown you today is more at the executive or kind of the manager level, and I'm really only showing you stuff for a particular region. So there are two levels to that. One level is the type of user, right? And we can align things like dashboards to certain users' roles, so that executives have certain dashboards and reps have different dashboards. The other aspect is the security. So as you go, from the region up to, the entire division or all of the U.S., all of the U.K., et cetera, the security controls the visibility of what records you would see aggregated up into your views. So some of it is kind of applicability in terms of what things we configure for you to see in which places, but there's also that layer of security that says you can see or edit or not see or edit certain things based on your role. Okay. And then that's for a base configuration. You also saw in the beginning with those dashboards and the views, I can pin a certain one to be the one that I want as my default, and I can also go into the create a personal view. I can also do that with dashboards. I could create personal dashboards. So if you get a user who wants something different than what we give for the default, they can configure that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then an RSM can see his region, and then he can dig into each of his territory reps?
Yes. That's exactly how it's set up. And that's so just, it's kind of one level deep here, but that's basically controlled by these region designations and the owners being associated to a particular region, right? So then given the role, right, Chris would probably have, the regional or even higher role. That means he could see all the records in that region, whereas, an individual rep, they might not have the regional roles, right? They might only have the ones that they're assigned to. So, basically it can go up with that hierarchy. Think of it as it's a hierarchy for that data visibility.
And the warranties also by region?
Simon, do you want to explain the warranty approach?
Sure. Warranty is being handled a little bit differently, Cindy, primarily because of the fact that when we first set up the current system, SalesLogix, we had the warranty reps that were covering multiple regions. So I think we had Brian Brooding to cover the entire East Coast. And the actual accounts, so there's an account record, which is a consumer. So if I went to the website and filled out a warranty claim form and submitted it, I became a record, an account record within the SalesLogix system as a homeowner. And the warranty ticket that I submitted is a ticket record. So the ticket record belongs to a national scope or visibility, whereas the customer record, Simon Lim, lives in Glendale, California, so that record only belongs to the Southern California region. Does that make sense?
So an RSM can still get a dashboard of warranty in their region?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Because we're going to be making it more sales visible than it is today, and that's a question I get a lot, is they want to see kind of what's going on, whether it's a goodwill or warranty concession.
Yes, so the system can adjust in terms of the record visibility is concerned to whatever the situation may be for us. So if you would like to have the warranty records become more visible to, more visible to the people that are outside a particular region, we can certainly make that happen. We would just need to adjust the configuration in the system a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so with that, so what I'll do is I'll show you the tablet interface. Now this, I just need to caveat this a little bit. So it's showing some extra configuration stuff that comes out of the box. We haven't had a chance during the project to tailor this down. But what we would do is select certain views, dashboards, etc. But you can get the idea of it here, where it'll give you the dashboards. You can, I think my connection timed out, Simon. I haven't used it for a while. But you can basically go through and get your list of opportunities, your list of accounts, and again, we tailor this list to be just the things that are appropriate. Your list of warranty claims, your cases, right? And you could get the similar sense of the dashboard, and you can work on the individual records as well in here, including creating activities, updating data, making any changes that you needed to through the tablet form factor, and I'm showing you the tablet, but the mobile device form factor is similar. It just has pages instead of tiles that swipe by. So it's very similar. But think of it as this is interpreting all the same configuration we've done in the web client. There's just a little bit more configuration that we need to do to say which things are appropriate for tablet and mobile, which things are not. And right now we have kind of all the kind of stuff underneath it in the system visible on tablet and mobile. So we'd kind of pare that down to make it just specific focused on there. So I don't, it doesn't have a ton to show you because of that, but this is my connection. Is the screen sharing still working?
Yeah, but maybe you could just come back to this.
Yeah.
After it gets loaded again.
Yeah, I think it might be my connection here. Okay, Simon, did you want to jump over and cover the other agenda topics, and we could probably come back to them.
Let's move on to Click Dimensions.
Okay. So Joel, you can start sharing. I made you a presenter.
Awesome. Hey, Chris. Hey, Cindy. This is Joel Hinton with Click Dimensions.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you guys?
Great.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. So, talking to Simon and Kevin, we're going to just show you a high-level overview. I'm not going to get into the weeds of Click Dimensions. But Cindy, I know I've had the opportunity to speak with Chris when we first did the demo of Click Dimensions. Just to let you know, we are an email marketing and marketing automation platform built specifically for Dynamics 365. So, I'm just going to go through a high-level overview here. I know this is being recorded, so you guys can pass this along to your team. But just to give you guys a little bit of background on the slide that you're seeing here. So Click Dimensions, like I said, we only work with Dynamics 365, meaning that we're not a separate application. So with your reps, your sales reps, anyone who is in the Dynamics 365 platform is going to have full visibility based on their security roles that are set up based on your requirements to see all of this data that's applicable that you see on my my slide here. So from an email marketing standpoint, ClickDimensions is going to give you guys the capability to send out blast email campaigns, but also individual emails. The beauty about this is you're going to be able to see every interaction with those emails. So opens, clicks, bounces, hard and soft, all of that's going to be viewable not only from that account record, but also when you drill down into the granular level of a lead or a contact, you're going to be able to see exactly how they've interacted with that piece of content. Also, from a ClickDimensions standpoint, we're going to give you the capability to track all your visitors on your website and score their engagement. So now you guys can really see, well, if someone's coming on your website, are they looking to, look for a retailer? And, it's going to give you guys the capability to see the visibility of, when someone does come to the website, what is the conversion time of getting them to actually purchase from a retailer from that initial website visit, stuff like that. Also, we give you the capability to create your web forms, surveys, landing pages, and subscription management pages, along with campaign automations and workflows that give you the capability to set up, nurture campaigns or drip campaigns, onboarding campaigns. You name it, you can build any type of campaign you want with our workflow builder and our campaign automation. Social marketing, I know you guys are on social. I've been on your Facebook page and Twitter and stuff like that. So we also have a social marketing piece that gives you the capability to schedule and shoot out all of your social posts through ClickDimensions, and all of that analytic data comes back into Dynamics 365 in real time. SMS messaging, so I don't know if you guys are doing anything with SMS, but we do have an SMS component that gives you the capability just like our email capabilities. And then event management, same thing if you guys are doing any type of in-person events or trainings or webinars. We also have an event management component that actually gives you the capability to track event registration, attendees, if they missed, all of that information right inside Dynamics 365. Reporting, I'll go over this from a high-level view, and then training and support is probably the best thing about ClickDimensions. We teach and train every one of your users now and in the future how to use every piece of functionality. So, if maybe, Chris, I know from a sales standpoint, I don't know how much access you might give to your sales reps to use some of the ClickDimensions functionality, but me being a salesperson myself, I use some of the campaign automation tools and in sending out ClickDimensions email templates on a daily basis. The beauty about having everything viewable to kind of strike while the iron's hot, so to speak, or see how leads and prospects are actually interacting are very important. And then, Cindy, from your side, especially from a warranty perspective, or see how customers are actually clicking or opening emails. If they are, you're going to be able to see all that information inside of Dynamics 365. So that's enough with this overview slide. Any questions just on the overview slide?
No, I think it's very comprehensive. I think the one question that really makes these campaigns go is content.
Yep.
Who's responsible for that? Is that held on our side?
Yeah, so it's going to be held on not only your side, but we also have a group of marketing success managers that will work with your team. So if you guys are, need help with, specific content, or you need recommendations on, we have some fabulous resources that you and your team will have the ability to use when you guys become a ClickDimensions customer.
And Chris, I know that marketing team has been working very closely with various email marketing campaigns, and I think over the years they have been able to accumulate a collection of template layouts. So if they're sending out a quarterly newsletter, they already have sort of the template layout that has a certain look, and then at that point for the next one they would just be swapping in and out of different images and text content and things like that to send out the next one and so on. So I'm sure there will be some template layouts that will be available for your use if you wanted to go that route, or of course things can be custom designed by working with a different agency or whatnot.
And what I would say too to that, Simon, is Chris, we have 4 different editors that can be used to design content, and from very experienced HTML designer. You can use our HTML designer compared to, if I'll even just show you one if you want to see it. Let me just pull it up here. I created one to show you how easy it is to build one. But if you go into Dynamics 365 here at the top of the navigation, you can go right into Click Dimensions. It lives and breathes right off the main drop down here. And you can go into the email template section. Now, for me, I'm not an HTML designer by any means. So I just went in here and I gave this template a name, and then I chose, the subject here, and then I picked our drag and drop editor. Now, this drag and drop is geared for your non-technical marketer like myself. So once you do that and hit save here at the top, you're going to be able to open up the editor right from here. And if you have some non-technical folks that want to build out templates, we're going to have pre-formatted layouts in here that you can choose from. And then you can also, drag and drop in specific blocks of images or text or content in here. Now, with our drag and drop editor and environment, all of this is mobile responsive, so this is going to ensure that your emails look sharp no matter what device they're viewed on. And emails will automatically adjust based on the size of the display rendering it here. So if I can build something like this, and by any means, if this is not something that you guys would send out, this is just a hypothetical example. But whether it's a more of a text-rich type of email template, they're definitely going to be able to come in here and build this out very easily. Or even if it's more of an image-based, email template or campaign, you guys are going to have the capability to come in here and build those. Just to also tell you too, from a click dimension standpoint, the beauty about having everything in Dynamics 365 is you guys are going to get, real-time results coming back in. So if I, from a newsletter campaign dashboard or a sales campaign or whatever it might be, if I go back into Click Dimensions here and you want to see, all of, your current website visitors in real time, all you have to do is hit the web analytics section here and go to the visits. So I already have this pulled up to show you, but here in our environment, this is showing you all of our real-time visits that are coming in on our website as we speak. You can see the IP organization in which they're originating from. If they've used keywords to search for us, you can see that. Also the referring host, so are they coming from, a search engine? Is it, social? Is it direct traffic, social traffic, all of that? You can see that here. Also, we're giving them scores based on the parameters that we've set within Click Dimensions, and then we can identify the contacts or the leads that are actually coming to your website here. And then you can see with Dynamics, right out of the box, you can start to build views and dashboards. If you want to segment these viewers on your website by country or IP city or referrer type, or you can start to build these types of dashboards here and charts. Any questions on that?
Nope. Very good.
Also, just from a campaign standpoint, you guys are going to get really granular information. So this is just a newsletter that we've sent out back in June. You're going to be able to get the overall performance in regards to how the email campaigns actually perform, listed recipients, excluded emails, click rates, open rates, hard and soft bounces, all of this stuff here. From an email client perspective, we're actually drilling down to, what were the top email clients and devices used to open up your emails. So specifically in this campaign here, you can see that Outlook was our highest used client or device, which was a 44%. From a desktop versus mobile, you can see that 70% actually opened from a desktop opposed to 29% on a mobile device. We're very adamant about tracking conversions. So from this email campaign here, you can see that we had a 2.86% that actually came to our website at least once. that equated to 545 recipients coming to our website. You can also see the form submissions here of 186 recipients at least submitted one form from this email campaign. And then also there were no links to actually submit a survey on this campaign. But if there were, you would also have some recipients that submitted at least a survey here. But we're giving the overall web activity, posted forms, and surveys here with our email campaigns as well. Now from a click report standpoint, and this is kind of what I'll hit on just for a second, in this email campaign, we had 20 clickable links within the campaign. Now, if one of your leads or contacts or customers or prospects clicked on that link, we're going to be able to track that conversion. So in this specific link, we're going to actually be able to show you the leads, the contacts, their accounts. Let me reload that, sorry, it might have timed out here. But here, as this pulls up, this click report is actually going to show you the lead, the contacts, and the accounts that actually clicked on each clickable link. So if I pull this up, you can see here, this is that specific link that I just clicked on within that email campaign, and now you can see all the leads, the contacts, or the accounts that clicked on this specific link in this campaign. Now, if I pick any one of these names here and just click on the hyperlink here, it's actually going to show you their contact or lead record. And then it's going to show you some granular information about whom this person is, and then also how they've engaged with you and your specific campaigns and so on. So here, this is our data here in our Click Dimensions D365 environment, but this would replicate what it would look like when Click Dimensions is installed inside your Dynamics 365. So Steve, you can see who he is, his job title, his email address, also his company name, phone number. You can see his lead score here, also his subscription preferences, so you can see that Steve's actually opted into our newsletter, special events, product update notifications, and our blog. Now if I scroll down into Steve's contact record here, you can see that Steve has actually posted 11 of our forms. So the last form that he posted was the C-Suite web form. We've recognized him as a contact. You can see the campaign it's tied to, and if it was a successful submission and when that actually occurred. Now if I drill down into this web form that he actually filled out, we can see every individual value in the form field that he actually filled out in this specific web form. So you can see all of that information here. Now if I wanted to drill through every form on his contact or lead record, we could do that, but for our time here today, I'll scroll down into a little bit more of his contact record here. So here, right under his forms, you can also see that Steve has actually received 74 emails from us. You can see this last one that we sent him, the subject, the email campaign it's tied to, the email address that we sent it to, the score, whether it was delivered, he opened it twice, he didn't click on anything, whether we recognize it as spam or unsubscribes, and the time and date stamp in which it was sent. If we use an A/B testing strategy, you would also be able to see that here. Now, if you wanted to sift through every individual email that we've sent to Steve, we can by just tabbing over on this little arrow, and then we can drill down into any one of these email templates here and the emails that we've sent to him. Also, as I scroll down here into his contact record, you can see the page views. So Steve's been on our website 177 times. This last time that he came into our website was through this IP organization. We recognized him as a contact, also the page title in which he viewed, the page when he viewed it, the duration and score, the browser and operating system in which he viewed it from, the campaign if we tied it to a campaign record, and then also the specific visit of this specific page view. So now we can get pretty granular here in regards to the entry and the exit page in which he came in on this page visit, the total pages, duration, and the score. And then you can see that page visit here as well. Any questions on that?
No, it's good.
Go ahead.
Uses this? Who's going to be the primary user internally on our side for this?
Yeah.
The marketing team?
Well, I would say, it depends. I would say yes, marketing. Also, from my perspective, I think this would be great from a sales rep perspective to have the capability to use some of this data. Also, if your sales reps or even RSMs or whatever it might be, if marketing is going to create maybe some go-to out-of-the-box templates For example, if they pull up a contact or a lead record here, they can go ahead and say, hey, I want to send a ClickDimensions email template to these recipients and get all of this reporting analytics back into their contact or lead record. So for example, if you just hit a quick send here, this can give salespeople the ability to send ClickDimensions email templates right from their contact or lead record here. So for example, if I pull up, let me just see if, yeah, I did put it in there. So you can see, here if I pull in, Caesarstone, template that I created, they can send this right from the lead or the contact record here as well. I don't know. It just depends. What do you see a benefit of your sales reps using this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was just curious. What do some other organizations that use 365? How are they structured to support this? I mean, I'm talking about all the way from, do we need someone just managing ClickDimensions as part of this, or can we have a dynamic super user in-house that we designate to have all the management, from dashboards all the way through ClickDimensions, through Easy Territory, which is a part of it as well?
I would say you definitely want a ClickDimensions super user, and then branch off from there. Now, one of the things that I haven't showed you is that, let me just pull this up here so you can see this, just to tell you why I say that. The super user could definitely train your internal users, but I would just say that it's best if whomever you want, from other customers that I work with on a day-to-day basis, they're going to have a CRM, a ClickDimensions super user, but then also they're going to, train their customer service reps on specific functionality, and then also their sales reps on ClickDimensions. And with our ClickDimensions Training Academy, there's no reason why you need to have your super user train other users within your organization, because we teach and train, whomever you want to sign up for ClickDimensions training. They can actually attend our live sessions, which are held daily for our pieces of functionality, or if they want to, get their training through recorded webinars as well, they'll have access to both. So I would say it would be a mix of marketing, communications, also CSRs or customer service representatives, and then also sales users as well.
And Chris, just so you know, the webmaster Che, I believe, has been the one person currently managing all of the email campaigns that are going out of the marketing team, and he's using Constant Contact, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So he's managing the process. He's managing the putting together of the actual email template, the contents, which images to use. He's the one that's doing proofreading of all the text, because it's a bulk email being sent out by the Caesarstone organization. So quality control is of importance, I believe, to the marketing team. So there's a certain level of quality control currently, and I believe you would want to maintain a similar level if you decide to put this into the hands of the individual sales reps.
Yeah, I would agree. I want to control it.
And I totally agree with that too. And we follow Microsoft role-based security. So, based on your requirements and whom you want to give access, or just read privileges or write privileges, or even specific functionality privileges, you guys will be able to do that. But, from the webmaster or whomever, stuff like campaign automation is going to give you guys the capability to automate a lot of your processes. So if, this is just, a hypothetical example just to show you, Chris, and, I don't know if you remember seeing this on the first demo that I showed you, but even in regards to sales nurturing campaigns or onboarding campaigns, or even, Cindy, maybe if you guys are doing warranty, I don't know if you guys do warranty renewals or anything like that, but this can be very effective for multiple facets of your team, just even to show you, our campaign automation builder, if you take a marketing list of contacts or leads or current, warranty holders or whatever it might be, you can start to build out campaigns like this, so you can see how easy this is to create. If you take a marketing list and then, you want to start to nurture them, or, send them a sequence of emails, based on specific interactions or whatever it might be, you're going to have that capability to, drip or nurture them, or, send them out specific materials, and you have the capability to, market to them in multiple different channels, whether that's, SMS or email or form submissions or surveys or event registrations or anything like that here. The beauty about this is, it's a drag and drop builder, so your webmaster can build this stuff based on requirements or sales needs or whatever it might be here. So it's super easy to use here as well.
Okay, excellent.
Yep. I know I've only scratched the surface here, but I want to be cognizant of everyone's time. Is there anything else that I can show you guys before I pass it back over to Simon and the team to let the next portion go?
No, I think we're good. We're kind of rolling up on time here, so that's a good overview, and I'd like to get, as we go down the path here, the rest of my team involved in this process, so I think we can cover off more at that time. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, cool. Chris, how are we doing on time?
We got a few more minutes, because we're kind of in the process of getting ready for Renan to come in town. So.
Okay.
What else did you want to cover on this?
Easy territory. Just a few minutes on easy territory. I think we should be okay to end it there. We had a couple more items on the agenda, but since we're running short on time, we can definitely circle back around, and I can just go over those things separately with you and Cindy later on. So easy territory for a few minutes. That should do it.
Yes. Okay.
Hey, good afternoon, Chris. This is Benton Belcher. Good to speak with you again.
Yes. Hi, Benton.
Hey there, Cindy. Good to meet you.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and share my desktop. Just give me one moment while this loads for me. And just a little note about sharing a mapping application over Skype. Sometimes the refresh rate's a little slow, so I'm going to try not to zoom and pan the map a lot. But let me go ahead and share my screen and let me know when you can see me here. Okay, are you seeing anything yet? Nope.
It's loading.
It said there was an error. Yeah, hang on just a moment, guys. Oh, started to share there.
It says it's loading on our side.
Yeah, it's trying to load and then it stops sharing for some reason on my side. Darn, I don't know what's going on with that.
Sometimes it takes a little bit. It looks like I'm getting a frame, but then it's stopping.
Mm-hmm.
Are you letting it just sit there for a minute?
I sure am, yeah.
I'm not sure then.
It's giving me an error message. Oh, darn. I could do one of two things. I could either drop back and try to present my slide deck, or I could send out a GoToMeeting URL. We could stay on the same call bridge, but then we would just log into a GoToMeeting, and that generally would work fine for me.
Do you have a slide deck that you can just send me?
I do, yeah.
You were actually demoing it live.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do, was just send you a live demo here. I did prepare a couple slides, and I could show that as well, if we don't want to try to jump in.
Why don't we go through the slides, and then we'll send me the slides real quick, and then we'll reschedule. since we're going to be up on time here soon. And, you know, we know where to find each other, so once we get through this week, we'll have a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, that sounds good, Chris. I apologize for the technical difficulties here, but yeah, so I prepared a few slides for Simon that we can get over to you. And then once things settle down, we can dig in a little bit deeper. It probably would be good to spend some time going through your current processes in regards to territory management, and that'll help drive some of the conversation as well.
Yep,
Yeah,
sounds good.
let's do that, and you know, we are in the process of determining if we need to reassign people within the territories. Can this tool help us with that process as well?
Yes, absolutely. So Easy Territory is meant to work with dynamics and especially useful in situations where you're going through a realignment and you make a lot of changes and then you want to in bulk update all of the assignments within your CRM. Now, what system does your master territory assignment reside in? Are you doing that? Would that be in your CRM ultimately, or is that in another ERP system?
Currently, it's the SalesLogix CRM. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
SalesLogix. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so CRM is ultimately going to be the authoritative source for the territory assignments, and Easy Territory will definitely be the tool you'll want to use to make those bulk reassignments. Easy Territory also supports lead assignment. So as you have new leads coming into the system, it can look up and say, okay, who should this record be assigned to based on the territory? And it's my understanding that you are doing territory alignment via zip code in the US. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a data set that we provide that's very useful. You can, on the map, select zip codes, move them from one territory to another just with a few clicks.
Okay.
So without being able to show you much more right this second, let me get that slide deck over to you, Chris, and then we'll schedule a follow-up in the next week or so.
Wonderful. I'll look for that and have a review of it before our next call, and you know, we can reach out and try to get something on the calendar.
Okay, that sounds great.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your help. And Simon, why don't we try to touch base sometime later this week about next steps on the user acceptance testing?
Sure, sounds good. Thank you, Chris.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.